Hey y'all, happy Friday. It's a little bit cooler than it has been this week out there. A little bit, um, what a change in the weather and what crazy weather we've had. We missed most of the storms yesterday, but just not too far from us. They had hail that was amazing and damaged vehicles and houses, and then on further there were tornadoes, and what a crazy, crazy time. But it is springtime, and that's what happens. I keep trying to remind myself that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. That's what the old saying is. But we're halfway through March, halfway through another month. I feel like, and I don't. The older we get, the faster time goes. I really do feel like that. It just seems like we started a new year, and here we are halfway through the third month of the year. So yesterday we talked about Jacob, and I wanted to talk just a little bit more about that. I feel like I left a piece out that we need to understand as well. I talked about how Jacob wrestled all night long with God about his fear of what might happen when he meets Esau. But the reason that he was in that place is because he told God he was Esau. So in his wrestling, he was asked, in verse 27 of Genesis 32, it says, "What is your name?" the man asked. And he replied, "Jacob." So God gave him another chance. God is the God of second chances. God is the God of third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. Just because you think you've messed up so bad that God would not restore you, here's the promise that he does. Because he restored Jacob. And he restored Jacob and Esau's relationship. He restored them. And Jacob, his promise was fulfilled. The Lord's promise in him was fulfilled. His descendants are like the sands of the sea. But again, when we are honest with God, when we come before him honestly and humbly, he is the God of second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, 999th chances. He's the God of restoration, and he's the God of love. He's the God of wrath as well. But he does give us the opportunity to turn back to him each and every time. In verse 33, starting in chapter 33, starting at verse 5, it says, "Then Esau looked at the women and children and asked, 'Who are these people with you?'" Because they hadn't seen each other in a really long time. He didn't know who they were. "These are the children God has graciously given to me," Jacob replied. These are the children that God has graciously given to me. Then the concubines came forward with their children and bowed low before him. Next Leah came with her children, and they bowed down. Finally Rachel and Joseph came and made their bows. "And what are all the flocks and herds I met as I came?" Esau asked. Jacob replied, "They are my gifts, my lord, to ensure your goodwill." "Brother, I have plenty." He's telling him, I have plenty. God was gracious to me as well. I have plenty. Keep what you have. "No, please accept them," Jacob said, "for what a relief it is to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the smile of God." Jacob was so in fear of what Esau was going to do to him that when he saw his friendly smile, that load was lifted. And that's what God does. He was the God of second chances. He gave Jacob the opportunity to tell him who he was. And he was honest. He said, "My name is Jacob." God is the God of second chances. We need to understand that. We need to understand that. "Please take my gifts, for God has been very generous to me. I have more than enough," Jacob continued to insist, so Esau finally accepted them. "Well, let's be going," Esau said. "I will stay with you and lead the way." But Jacob replied, "You can see, my lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks and herds have their young too. If they are driven too hard, they may die. So go on ahead of us. We will follow at our own pace and meet you at Seir." Well, Esau said, at least let me leave some of my men to guide and protect you. There is no reason for you to be so kind to me, Jacob insisted. So Esau started back to Seir the same day. Meanwhile, Jacob and his household traveled on to Succoth, where there he built himself a house and made shelters for his flocks and herds. That is why the place was named Succoth. Then they arrived safely at Shechem in Canaan, and they set up camp just outside the town. Jacob bought the land he camped on from the family of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of silver, and there he built an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. I'm going to go down to my study Bible, the study part of my Bible, and see if it tells me what that. No, it doesn't. Darn it. Even though Jacob didn't go to where Esau was, they lived close to each other. They weren't far apart from each other like they had been. It doesn't explain why Jacob decided to stop there, other than it does say that Succoth is a beautiful site on the eastern side of the Jordan River. And maybe it just, whatever the reason, Jacob and Esau parted in peace, but they still lived fairly close to each other until after their father's death. So, again, we need to understand, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, God is a God of second chances, and that's what this is about. The story is about a God of second chances. The story is about wrestling with God and letting go and giving it to God and being honest with God. Being honest and letting go. So I'm going to be short and sweet today because I have to go make the deposit and do a couple of other things today, this afternoon, but it's about letting go and letting God handle the things that we can't handle. We are each one wrestling with something that we don't understand. Is it because of decisions we made? Yes, sometimes it is. Is it because of decisions others have made? Yes, sometimes it is. Is it because we're not hearing from the Lord because we're being stubborn? Yes, it can be. But we're all wrestling with something, and the Lord's just saying, hello, I need you to stop. I need you to be honest with me and let me do this. We always want to think that he's gone. When we can't hear him or we're going through a hard time, he's walked away from us. And he never walks away from us. He has to discipline us sometimes, and that hurts. But we still need that. Because if he didn't love us, he wouldn't discipline us. Just like if you don't love your children, you're not going to discipline them. Discipline is a good thing. Pain sometimes is a good thing. Pain is hard. And when you've walked through a valley or a season of loneliness, pain is hard. But that pain can be used for your good. If you just be honest with God, quit wrestling with him, be honest with him, lay it at his feet and let him handle it. He's the God of second chances. So give it to him today. Sunday services 9 and 11. Come out and join us. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. They've been absolute amazing services. I mean, amazing. So good. The word that's been brought has been amazing. The music has been amazing. So just come out and join us. Safety team, don't forget that Sunday we do have a safety team meeting right after second service. You will be fed and you will be going over some training. I'm not really sure. I'm not in on that part of it. But come out, be a part of that safety team. If you even have a thought that you may want to, stay after services and find out what it's all about. And then elders and deacons, don't forget we have elders and deacons meeting this Sunday at 4 o'clock. Please be there so we can handle the business of the church and have some things that we need to talk about. And so we need you guys to be there. So if you have any questions, just call the church office, 918-399-5956. and I will do my best to answer those. I want to thank our sponsors, Don and Sheila Ferris, Kim Morris, Gordon and Dee Kennard, Stacy Reese at My Travel Misha, Genesis Home Health, Parco Tax, Watkins Family, and Travis and Maddie Holloway. Thank you, each and every one of you, for pouring in. And to those who are doing it anonymously, I thank you so much for that as well. You bless us by doing that. You allow us to continue on with our, not only our daily lives, but our Facebook lives we do every Sunday, and we're reaching more and more people. I like to get on, usually Monday morning, I will get on and look, and we have people watching from Maryland and Montana, all over. We have people watching from all over, and that to me just blesses my heart, because I know how God's working. And God is working in this church. The enemy is also working. The enemy is doing his dead level best to create havoc, to create dissension, to create whatever may happen. But we know that our God is bigger, and if we'll stand firm on the promises of him, and we know he's a God of second chances, and he's going to walk us through every single thing that we need to walk through. So I hope today that you will just take that 5 minutes that I've talked about all week and just be still and know that he is God and hear from him. 5 minutes. It's just 5 minutes. Whether you're sitting in your car, whether you're doing your dishes, whether you're sitting in your bedroom on your bed, whatever it may be, take that 5 minutes and just be still and hear from him. I hope you all have a great, great weekend. The weather's going to be cooler from what I saw on the weather forecast. But, and this is for our school and the area schools, this is the last day before spring break. Next week is spring break. I hope if you're traveling that you have safe travels and that you enjoy your time on spring break. Enjoy your time with your kids, whatever you may be doing, wherever you may end up going. I hope that you have a great, great, great time. So I hope to see you guys back here on Monday. Have a great, great day.